We left off. We left off on Ayin Gimel and Beis towards the bottom. We'd spoken yesterday about the midwife who delivers children, and she says, "This is the son of Cohen. This is the Levi. This is the Nos. This is the Mamsa." She's believed only when, as long as she's there. But if she should leave and come back, then we're concerned that her recall is not accurate. She's not believed. A similar situation. Neman bal mekach lo lezeh mochat lezeh lo macharti. Person is a proprietor in a business, and two people, one of the two purchased something, and they're fighting who purchased it. So the bala mekach, the store owner, is believed to say, "I sold it to Ruvain. I did not sell it to Shimon." He's believed, even though he's an eid echod, right? He's an eid echod. We're talking about it's a monetary question. Ruvain claims it's mine. Shimon claims it's his. Who will settle the question? The seller. The seller is believed to say Ruvain, not to Shimon. It's only when he's retaining, when he still retains the item. We'll see. This is my close reference. Understand the Gemara here. The item already is in the hands of the two people. One's holding on to it, and they're fighting. The proprietor, the seller, is no longer believed to say, "I sold to Ruvain." Why would you say? What would you say? Are they both holding on to it, or even if it's on the counter? It's on the counter. See, if he's holding on to it, it's understood he's not believed. Because as we mentioned yesterday, his testimony, he's being mostly from a musik. Right? Shnai Mosim Betalis, we discussed yesterday. Two people are holding on. One says Kula Sheli, the other one says Chetz Sheli. One says all mine, the other one says 50% is mine. So it says, the one who says Kula Sheli gets 50%. Gets 3/4, and the one who says Chetzishli gets 1/4. So Tosei asks a question, but he has a migu. The one Chetzishli, he says, "Believe me that I'm honest, because if I'm real dishonest, I could have said it's all mine, and if I would have said it's all mine, I would have gotten 50%. So now, being honest by saying 50% is mine, I should get less than what I'm saying. What do I only get? 1/4. I should get 50%. So Tosei says, because what is migu? Since they're both, so if I give the one who claims that half is his, I give him half, that means I'm taking 1/4 of that half away from Ruvain. And that's called Migul Lahotzi. A Migul cannot extract money from a person who's in possession of something. So since the other party is in possession of it, the Migul cannot extract money from the other. That's called Migul Lahotzi. Migul Lahotzi, of course, the only time you could take money away from someone else, that's only through Eidim. It says, Al-Pishnai made him Yokum Dover. From a person, you need Eidim. You need 1 second. You need Eidus. So it's very good. So before they actually take possession of it, the proprietor is believed, because we say, when do you need Eidim? When you want to extract from what? From a person who's a Muslim. Somebody who's holding something, is in possession of something. But over here, since the question is, who is in possession? We don't know who's in possession. Maybe that's the reason why the storekeeper is believed. You don't need Al-Pishnai Medim Yokum Dover. You don't need two witnesses, even though it's a monetary issue. But what am I verifying over here? Here I'm verifying who is the rightful owner. If somebody has it, and I claim what he has belongs to a third party, there I'm taking it away from a person who's in possession. When you want to take something away from somebody who's in possession, that you need two witnesses. That's called motzi from a muzik. You can't take it away from somebody who's in possession unless you have the ultimate level of verification, which is what? Which is Al Pishnai Medim Yokum Dover. That you need two witnesses. But since over here it hasn't been determined who, that's the question. Is it Ruvain? Who did he sell to? Ruvain to Shimon? So as long as the recall of the seller is accurate, he's what? We believe him. We believe him. What I'm explaining that this is Rashi. This is the way Rashi understands it. Because Tosas has a problem with Rashi. Because Tosas says, so Rashi, why is he believed? Even though he claims and we say he's accurate, but it's Davar Shebemomon. For monetary issues, what do you need? You need two witnesses, right? You need Eidim. He's not an Eid. What do we believe? What do we believe the storekeeper? That's what we'll see. That's Rabbeinu Tam's question on Rashi. But the way Rashi learns, he says, since his mind, he still has an accurate recall of what happened, of the event that happened, he still remembers accurately who he sold it to. Okay? Two. Eid echad could only be mechayiv shur by moment. Could only obligate one to swear. But in terms of taking possession, you need two witnesses. We do say yachloku. If the seller is not in possession, you say that's the Gemara. What's his name? That is the Gemara above Mitzvah. They do split it. It's like Shnei Mosim Betalis. You do split it.
Why do you do it for the palace, the whole palace? Why do you believe that?
No, very simple. You don't believe him. You don't believe him. You don't believe him. You don't believe him. So let's explain it. Let's explain it. Two people are holding a talus. Reuven says it's all mine. All mine means all mine, and Shimon has nothing in it. Half is mine. So Shimon, half is mine. Although he's in possession of everything, he's making a statement that although I'm in possession, 50% of what I'm holding belongs to Reuven. So 50% is not a questioning. He has a self-admission. Half is Reuven's. So how much of the 100% is in question? 50%. So it's like 50% to Shnei Mosim. It's like they're both holding on to 50%. So what do you do when two people are holding on to 50%? You divide. So therefore one gets a quarter and the other one gets the quarter. 50% is not even the question. The other 50%, right? Because Shimon admitted that 50% belongs to Reuven. So which 50% is in question? The second 50%. So okay, so both of them, we can't resolve it. You can't resolve it. You divide. So each one gets a quarter of the second 50%. So one gets 3/4 and one gets a quarter.
I understand that. I don't understand why is he penalized because he has a migu.
He's not penalized because he has a migu. It's the other. The migu means nothing. It doesn't help him. The question is let him have a migu to help him to get 50%. The other way. The migu should secure his position, should get 50%. The answer is because since Reuven's holding on to that 50% as he's holding on to it, the migu was me extracting money from the person who's possession. To extract money from the person's possession, that you need witnesses. Migu doesn't have that level, that strength to extract money from someone.
Without the migu, you would get nothing.
No. He's holding it. That's why he gets it. He's holding it. Let's say I'm in possession of something. Somebody says, what you're holding is mine. It means nothing, what you say. Possession is 100% of the law. 100%, not 99% of the law. Right? Muzik means it's mine. You claim it's yours, bring, something? Bring proof, then we'll talk about it. Migu is only to secure something. It's called migu laharzik. There's a tosis in Bava Basra. There's a migu. It's called migu di boy shosik. Migu di boy shosik. What about a migu where if I would have been silent, I'd have no problem? You got it? You understand it? No. Here, give you a case. Migu di boy shosik. That means a migu I could have remained silent. What's the case? The case is I have a document. And Reuven has a document. It says in the document that he's the lender, Shimon's the borrower. And he comes, it's past the due date, paid out based on the date. You owe me the amount of money that says in the document. Okay? Shimon claims it's a forgery. It's a forgery. But it's a document. It's been certified that the signatures are authentic signatures. So you could scream bloody murder from now forever. It's a forgery, but I've substantiated it. It's not a forgery. So what's the law? Not a question. Reuven collects them with the document. Right? Not even a question. This Reuven goes over to the Dayan, to Rav Nachman, and says to Rav Nachman, he whispers in his ear. It's Gemara Bava Basra. He whispers, he says, you want to know the truth? It is a forgery. It is a forgery. But I originally had a document, went lost. So I went and I hired a forger, accurate forgery, that you can't even tell the difference between the first document and the second document. And therefore, this is what it's about. Let's say he would have remained silent there. He had a substantiated, certified document that he'd be able to collect with that document. So that's what, if you live in shosek, if you live in silent, no problem. See, it's not you got to say something. See, the case we're talking about over here, believe me, 50% is mine, because I could have claimed 100%. So then you had to claim something. Here, by saying nothing, I come with the document, you owe me money, that's the end of the story. I would have collected. I have a substantiated, I have a certified document. So what's the migu? Believe me that I had a document originally which was an authentic document, but if I wanted to be dishonest, I would have remained silent. Did I have to tell you that the document that I have is a forgery? So therefore, so Rav Nachman holds over there, even though it's a migu lahotzi, right? It's a migu lahotzi. Over there, the migu, because of the migu, he's extracting, because he admitted the document is a forgery. And despite the document being a forgery, he's collecting. How do you collect migu lahotzi lo amrinon? You can't extract money with a migu. The difference is there's a migu boy shosik. There the migu is if you would have remained silent. Remain silent, that's much more powerful. So firstly, you see from Tosus, that when we say that migu cannot extract money, it's not because you have to have the verification of the ultimate, which is witnesses. Witnesses is the ultimate. You don't have to have the ultimate. Because if you need the ultimate, everybody agrees if you have a migu against Eidin. Let's say two witnesses would come and they would say the loan was paid or the man never borrowed money. You could have all the migus in the world. You're not going to collect money with that document, right? There's no way. So we see clearly, although migu doesn't have the strength of witnesses, but if it's a migu di boy shosik, you see, you could collect, according to one opinion in the Gemara, right? He could collect with the document, but the basis for collecting is migu. How do you collect? How do you extract money? And over there, you're extracting money from a muzik, because the man's going to have to pay on the document. It's a loan document. Okay? I brought up this because the last time David was here, we discussed this about 16 years ago. Okay. 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 So, no. It's just telling us how it happened. It's not he openly said it's a forgery. He says, the truth is what the man has done is true. Factually, I had a document. It went lost. I had it replaced, but this is a forgery. No, so there's an argument. The Gemara, whatever. The question is the migus of money. But good. If a dayan rules, then he realized afterwards he made a mistake. Of course he has. Let's say witnesses came, Reuven or Shimon, then they found out to be Eidim Zomim. And the court gave a psak. You're going to collect money based on that ruling. It's Eidim Zomim. It's false. It's a baseless ruling. Here also, if he realized he made a mistake, thought the document was authentic. Then he finds out it's a forgery. Of course you don't collect with it. But migu, because the migu proves that there was originally another document, authentic document.
So did the Dayan change his...
It's a machlokas. It's a machlokas in the Gemara. It's an argument in the Gemara. Okay, let's get back to the Gemara here. So we're saying as long as the dayan, as long as the storekeeper has the object in his possession, he's believed. So you see over here, you're not being motzi from a musik. I'm explaining point to Rashi. Point to Rashi, who's in possession of the item? The storekeeper. Reuven claims he paid. Shimon says he paid. So the question is, it's only to verify who is the rightful owner. Well, let's say they'd be holding it, the two of them, and they're fighting over it, like Shnei Moshe B'Talus. And the storekeeper says, well, I remember it was Shimon and not Reuven. It wouldn't be believed. Wouldn't be believed. Why? But that's only if, seemingly, if they're holding it. What about if it's on the counter? The storekeeper no longer has it in his possession. It's on the counter. Well, no. Or let's say he put it, he sent it. It's no longer no, because we'll see in a moment. Because the Gemara says, as long as he's in control of it, and that seems to be, he has to be in control of it, then we say, because as Tosa cites, the Gemara says in the Hazov, that although we rule most konos, that payment is considered an acquisition on Torah level, rabbinically they revoked it to protect the buyer. Because if it would be his immediately, let's say something should happen afterwards, before the man delivers it to the buyer, the seller says, you know, something's not my headache any longer. I was fully paid. It's not my issue any longer. So therefore, no, we're talking about onus. He's not going to do anything. He's a shamachinam. I got paid. I don't have to go out of my way. Let it burn. I got paid. It's not my loss. So the seller should not say, Shem Yisru Chitecha Ba'aliyah. To protect the buyer, we say, you know something, until it's delivered, you have full liability. We consider it yours. But again, so what happens? How do we so good? We set this up initially to protect the buyer. But on simultaneously, we have to, he's not fully protected. Because if we're revoking the acquisition, what happens if now, after he accepts the money, somebody comes and offers him more money? So the seller's going to what? Is going to want to renege on the sale. He's not going to want to sell it. So we give him Mishapora. Chazal say that if you back out on that sale, you're going to be cursed. A curse that you'll regret that you ever tried to renege on that transaction. So that's to protect the buyer. So here Rashi explains that why do I say his memory is accurate until he delivers the item? Because otherwise he's going to be subject to a Mishapora. Right? He received the money. So you say, you know, once I receive the money, out of sight, out of mind, I'm not involved any longer. No. The man has to keep in mind who is the rightful owner. So that only guarantees the accuracy of his memory. Because otherwise, once it's not relevant any longer, it's like you walked away from it. So why do we say it is accurate? Because he's going to be subject to the Mishapara. What about once he's released it, that he's no longer subject to Mishapara? Then already we question the accuracy of his memory. Understand? Therefore, so it's not an issue of no, but I'm explaining to you. As long as you still possess it, you're subject to the Mishapara. The moment I give it to you and you could take it yourself, I'm not subject to Mishapara any longer. Then at that moment, it's out of mind. It's like out of sight, out of mind. Because he's detached, therefore I don't believe him. It's not because it's Dav Shiva Mamon. I don't believe him because the level of recall and accuracy of recall is no longer there, because there's a detachment of the event. What? The seller. Severed. Once you're severed, the recall is no longer there. It's like we had the case before. The midwife. When she's there at the same location, she delivered, she's believed to say, this is the child of the Kohen, this is the child of the Levi. She walks out of the room, comes back, because she already was in another setting, coming back, it's no longer the same. It's no longer the same. So that's according to Rashi. Because I'm making this point. Because if it's a question, they're holding it. See, then it's not because, see, Rashi is limited because once he's not subject to Shapara, his memory is not as accurate any longer. What do we need that for? Say he's not believed because it's Davar Shebimamon. You need two witnesses. There's no reason why we should believe him. Right? Because I'm saying, what about, physically they didn't take possession. You just put it on the counter. Right? And that's sufficient, shouldn't be subject to Mishapara. He should not be subject to Mishapara. So really he should be believed otherwise. He should be believed, because again, he's not Motzi Moment. Here, he's not extracting money from anybody over here, correct? But factually, it's not a question of extracting money, but the question is, what is the accuracy of your memory? Since you're not subject now, you're detached. Once you detach, we can't trust you anymore. Of course, he will not. Let's say I go, I put it on the counter, you could take it. Not subject to Mishapar any longer.
Even though no one
I gave it to you.
No one has taken possession.
I put it down in front of
No
you.
one has taken possession.
Right. Right. You know, we say Mitalmid Yosim Kulam.
Say what?
Mitalmid Yosim Kulam, the Gemara says. What is Mitalmid? No, seriously, I'm serious on this. What is Mitalmid Yosim Kulam? Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes by a person making a comment, it gives you another understanding of what you didn't understand before. What David just said, David Segalov. That's a few Davids here. So, you know, it's very interesting. There's a Avnei Beluim that the Tzos of Eben Ezer. The Avnei Beluim writes, he shows there's a Rashi in Hazov We rule like Rabbi Yochanan and most konos. So let's say after you take possession, do we say Chazal revoked kinyan kesef? They revoked it, and it becomes yours when you take possession, and the monetary acquisition is nothing? Or we say no. Once you take possession, why did you acquire it? Because of the most konos. Rashi learns the most konos. The money is what acquires. You understand? So like this. If you say they revoked it, they nullified the kinyan kesef, let's say you put it on the counter. See, you're still subject to what's his name? To Mishapara. Do you know why? Because if you wouldn't be subject to Mishapara, you could sell it to someone else. Because it belongs to you people did not acquire it yet. The rights you didn't acquire it, even though it's with your ability to acquire it. You didn't acquire it. But if I say kinyan kesef is a kinyan kesef, and I've put in a position where you just have to pick it up. In that situation, maybe Rashi holds it's yours. You're no longer subject to Mishapara. You understand? That's the difference. According to Tosfos and the other Rishonim, when they annulled the kinyan kesef, it's like it never was. It's like the Torah never said you could acquire with kesef. So why do you acquire it? Because you took physical possession. But until you take physical possession, whose is it? It belongs to the seller. It does not belong to the buyer. According to Rashi, maybe once I put in a position that you could acquire it, you could pick it up. Why? Even though physically you didn't take it yet, the seller will no longer be subject to Mishapara. Why? Because now the kinyan kesef takes effect. Because the only reason why they said it's ineffective is to protect the buyer. But now that the buyer is in the position he could acquire it, in a physical sense, the seller is no longer subject to Mishapara. Once he's no longer subject to Mishapara, he's detached. Once he's detached, then we can't trust the accuracy of his memory any longer. So we're saying Chiddush going to Rashi. What about dealing with this gray area? He's about, but he didn't do it yet. See, normally when you talk about Mishichas Koneh, you take it, or whether it's Hagbah, because that's the usual situation. You pay, now you take it. Here we have an unusual case. He paid, he gave it, all of a sudden now another person claims he bought it, and they're fighting over it. He already released it. He released it. You know, it's like I give it over to an agent to deliver it, a delivery service, and now he puts it down, and now now they start fighting. Now there's a question, who owns it? I've already put in a position you could acquire it. Now the seller is released. He's released from Mishapara. The moment you're released from Mishapara, we say lo dayik. The original seller is no longer, he's not that exacting in what originally happened. I'm out of the picture. No, that's a low flow. We don't make any differentiation. You never know. You never know. Yes, so therefore. Well, the Gemara's going to wait. The Gemara's going to ask a question in a minute. Even though he released it, but since only one of them paid the money, he should remember because of the one who paid the money. The Gemara's going to answer they both paid the money. That's going to be the Gemara's answer. They both paid. So now, as a result of that, he's really confused. But if he's in physical possession, because there is a Mishapara issue, regardless whether they both put the money down or not, it's irrelevant. He remembers. Once he releases it, he's not something Mishapara, because they both put down the money, now he doesn't recall. What? Oh, of course it's only one. Right, exactly. Correct, of course. No, one, but he only intended to give it to one, not to the other. Originally, he...
No, that's fine. But both of the claimants believe that they had the
They could believe what they believe.
Right.
Evidently, you see not. Because the Gemara says, one of the cases in the Shneimos and the Talis is that each one has to swear. If he believes it, then we're wasting our time with the shvur. Because the person is going to swear, he believes he's swearing truthfully. So evidently, he knows he did the wrong thing. That means the shvur will be a deterrent that he should admit the truth. Right? That's clear. You see that from the Gemara in Bava Metzia. Okay? It's like Tosa says in it's really the Gemara in Yevomis. The Gemara says that Eid Echad is neman to say Meis Bailo. Right? Single witness comes and says, so-and-so's husband passed away. Right? Because otherwise she'll be a shackled widow for the rest of her life. So we believe in Eid Echad. So Gemara says you only believe in Eid Echad, it's not Shas Shalom Bo'olam. It's a time of peace. But let's say it's a time of war. Let's say a man comes back from the battlefront, he says, I saw your husband was killed. He's not believed. Why isn't he believed? Because we say he may have seen something, maybe he was wounded, but because of the surrounding circumstances, there's certain presumptions that a person would naturally make, and he says he died. In fact, he may have not died. But because of the way of the setting, he may have processed that he died. So therefore, we can't rely on his testimony. Okay, that's the Mishnah. It's a Mishnah in Yevomis. Okay, Shas Shalom, we believe him. If it's Shas Milchama, we don't believe him. Samar has a question. What about if it's the warring in Rhodesia? They used to call it Rhodesia. Okay, they used to call it that pre-Carter. Okay, they used to call Rhodesia. Okay, I'm only saying this because David's here to acknowledge that he's here. So there's a war going on Rhodesia, but in the United States, who knows what's going on in Rhodesia, right? It's irrelevant, okay? So an Eid Echad comes and says to a woman, your husband was killed in Rhodesia, but nobody knows there's a war in Rhodesia. So it says he's not believed. So Tosas asks, but he has a migul. Believe me that I saw your husband killed, because if I wouldn't divulge that there's a war going on in that country, I would have been believed. So he has a migul. Avram, you hear the question? Okay? It's good migul. Tosa says it's not a migul. Migul is to prove you're not lying. We're not questioning you're lying. We're questioning the accuracy of what you saw. If actually you divulge that there's a war, that means the setting was that what you saw is not accurate. We're not concerned you're lying. So the same thing over here. In fact, the person put the money down. If he would just believe that he really purchased it, what are we giving him a shvur? Of course he's going to swear. So you see clearly, when he gave the money and he knows he's not the rightful buyer, he's not going to lie. And that's why the shvur was a deterrent for that reason. Okay? Clear. So the Gemara asks the question, what do we say once he releases it? The seller, he's not believed any longer. Seemingly he took money from one of them, right? Let's say we took money from, because that's the one he's obligated to give the object to. So therefore he's still attached. He still hasn't severed himself from the transaction. Of course he has to make good on the delivery. Both of them put money. He took money from both of them. Hear this? He said, he openly admits, says two of them put money down. One I agreed to sell to, the other one I didn't, and the other one forced himself on me, and he put money. That's the v'lo yadia. Now there's a question what v'lo yadia means. He doesn't know, or we don't know. So Rashi says lo yadia, ein yodua lanu. It's not known to us. It's not known to the. Once he reveals that fact, he took money from both of them, and he doesn't remember. And he says, one I agreed to sell, did not. And we don't know. We don't mean, even if he says, I know which one, because we don't know, and we understand that circumstance creates a question, we don't rely on his memory for that reason. We don't rely on his memory. Yeah. Okay. In this share, we always have the notes of Yechusa at the beginning of the share. Okay. Okay. You know, it's interesting. The Gemara says about Basra that a person wants to purchase something, and the seller says, "I'm not interested in selling it." He says, "But I'm willing to pay." He says, "It's not for sale." And the man takes the man. He locks him in a room. He says, "You know something? Until you consent to sell it to me, you're not coming out of the room for the rest of your life." So the person says, "Rotzani." I'm agreeable to sell it to you. So the only reason why he agreed to sell was under duress. He was coerced at a very extreme level. The Gemara says it's a valid transaction. Since factually he paid its value, did he do the wrong thing, the buyer? Yes, he's in violation of Losachmod. He's called a chamso. He's considered a thief. But legally, although he's considered the equivalent of a thief, legally it's his. Because factually the man released it, he said rotzani, and he received fair value for the item itself. That's tuli b'zov zvini zvini. Because he forced him to agree. No. He's in violation of Losachmod. His desire was so overwhelming that he could not control himself. He forced the man to release it. Yeah, it's been over the lamokum. Well, he has to ask him mechila. Because you put me in a position where you forced me to agree, which I didn't agree. See, even though legally it's considered a release, it's a relinquishment, but halachically you violated. You violated the Torah. That's Losachmod. It's the Rambam. The Rambam says, we have Lositor and Losiko. Right? Lositor, you're not permitted to harbor ill feeling. The Gemara says in Yuma, a person comes to you and says, I'd like to borrow your axe. And says, I'm sorry, I'm not lending it to you. Next day, the one who was asked for the axe comes to the one who asked for the axe and says, I'd like to borrow your sickle. I'd like to borrow your sickle. So the one who has the sickle says to the one who originally got the axe, says, I'm a better person than you are. Even though you weren't agreeable to lend me your axe, I'll lend you my sickle. That's what he says to him. So it shows he's a better person. I'm better than you are. He's in violation of Losito. Because clear you're harboring ill feeling because he didn't do you the favor. Despite that, I'll give you the sickle. What's nekama? What is revenge? You didn't lend me your axe, I'm not lending you my sickle. So one is the ill feeling is actually causing you not to do the favor. That's revenge. So Lositor is ill feeling and you're able to overcome that, although you're still harboring the ill feeling. And the other is no, the ill feeling is so intense, it's not going to allow you to accommodate the man's request. No, even if no. Right? If that is the reason why, yep, okay. So that's the halacha, okay? You have, the Rambam says you have a lav, it's called lo sesabeh. The word taiva. Lo sesabeh. You should not have a desire for somebody else's item. A person, I want your thing. I go to you and say, I'd like to buy your house. I'd like to buy your that diamond that you have. I'd like the ring that you have because I want to give it to my wife. It's not for sale. And he pesters him to a point where he's on his case. Rambam says you're in violation of Sasabah. That you have an interest is one thing, but it reaches a point that you're already bothering the person. I want it. You have a right to make the request, but to be on his case, to pressure him, even though you don't force him to sell it to you, you're in violation of Sasabah. But if it comes to a point where you gave him the money and you forced him to say yes, then it's Losachmod. It's similar to the Lositor and Losiko. If it's at a lesser level, it's Losasabeh. If it's beyond, out of control, then it's Losachmod. That's the Rambam. So the Chofetz Chaim says something phenomenal in the Abbas Chesed. The people, they don't know when to let up. Person has a house. I want the house. And the person really doesn't want to sell his house. And he gets on his case and doesn't relentlessly, he doesn't let up. And the person says, sell me, I'll sell it to you. Rambam, Chofetz Chaim says, you're in violation of Losachmod. Losisav and Losachmod. You have a right to make an offer. But if the man says, I'm not interested. See, it's everything within reason. But sometimes it's without let up, and he only acquiesced because of the pressure that you put on him, it's a Torah violation. Even though you paid fair value, doesn't make a difference. Even if you paid more than, doesn't make a difference. But if the only reason why he agreed because he couldn't take the pressure, it's a Torah violation. So legally the house is yours, but la halacha, you're a Torah violator. He's just giving an application. No, the other case, no. The other case, the guy hung him on a tree, locked him in a room. You don't have to lock him in a room. You created a scenario where the man can't take it any longer. You know? This is for real estate brokers. So I will give you an offer you can't turn down. You know? Okay? The check won't bounce, guaranteed. Okay? That's an offer you can't turn down. Okay, we'll stop here.